everybody and welcome to Astro Tap, the place where we use astrology to tap into your destiny. So today we're going to talk about the rising sign, and the rising sign can also be called the ascendant. So bear this in mind when you're checking out your own birth chart, and also if you hear me switching from rising sign to ascendant in this video, because I have a tendency to do that, it means the same thing. So the rising sign is a sign that was rising on the western horizon at the moment you were born, and I specify it's the moment you were born. So to know your rising sign, you need your time of birth and your place of birth, and it's so important to get these accurate because the rising sign changes approximately every 2 hours. So when you were born and you took in that first breath, you were breathing in the qualities of that rising sign. It's your first impressions of the world. And whatever sign your rising sign falls in was the energy you felt when you first became a human being. So the rising sign is how you see the world. So it's the filter that you see the world through. It's the best way you know how to navigate your life. And as we know, life is a mirror. So the energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. So your rising sign is also the way that you appear to other people. Now, the rising sign is so important in your birth chart because the rising sign really is the door into your reality, and it's also the doors into each house in your natal birth chart. So for instance, first house, rising sign, first door, you. The way you navigate the world and the way that you appear to others. Second house, your value systems. What in life do you need to feel secure and to feel stable? Third house, your mindset, your communication, and so on and so on. But to build up this house system and understand your birth chart at a personal level, this rising sign builds up the rest of your birth chart. And because the rising sign has a lot to do with your first impressions, it has a lot to do with your first steps in life. So it can also indicate the energy around your childhood. And the rising sign can also indicate your physical appearance. So a lot of people will hold physical traits from their rising sign, and this makes it so much easier for people to guess your rising sign before they actually guess like your sun sign or your moon sign or your Venus sign, because the rising sign really guards those more intimate placements. The rising sign can also indicate the energy around your birth, so your journey down the birth canal, and the rising sign can also indicate the way that you rise every morning, so the way that you wake up. Because when you open your eyes in the morning, a new day is born. So a lot can be said about somebody's morning routine when you look at their rising sign. Now, another thing to take into consideration is the planet that rules your rising sign. So for instance, if you're an Aries rising, Mars is the planet that rules your rising sign. And whatever planet rules your rising sign is actually your whole chart ruler. So every house will have a little aspect of this Mars energy. Now, we're not really going to go into this in this video, but I will tell you each planet that rules each sign, and I will do a future video on this. Another thing to take into consideration is if you have your birth chart handy, check whether you have any planets conjunct your ascendant. Now, a conjunct means any planets 10 degrees away from your ascendant. I'll pop a chart example up here or here. And as you can see in this chart, it is my chart because I am a prime example for this, because as you can see, I have Uranus conjunct the ascendant, Neptune conjunct the ascendant, the moon conjunct the ascendant, and the north node conjunct the ascendant. Now, any planets that are conjunct the ascendant in the 12th house, you will have some past life connection to those planets and those energies. So for instance, my persona will be very Capricorn-esque, so Saturn-like, Neptune-like, and Uranian-like. So it's a bit of a mixed bag there. And any planets underneath, you will have those traits, but they will be less seen and more personal to you. Again, I will do a future video on this just to explain this a bit better, but it is something to check out. And if you do find that you have any planets conjunct your ascendant, check the sign that goes with each planet, and you can also watch the video for that sign as well. So in this video, I will go through your general traits, your physical appearance regarding your rising sign, your journey down the birth canal. I will try and predict that. Maybe you want to chat to your mum or something to find out the deets, and how you rise and shine each morning. But first, I will be showing you a few celebrities which share your rising sign, just so that you have some examples. And I've chosen reality TV stars because the rising sign is that first sign that people are going to see when they meet you. And as mentioned, you are hiding your more intimate chart placements behind that rising sign. So when you're a reality TV star, you are probably going to show the traits of your rising sign before you get to the nitty gritty, like the moon sign. So you may see someone's moon sign if they get triggered, but day to day when they've got a camera in their face, you're gonna see their rising sign. Let's begin with Aries rising and Aries ascendant. So your TV star celebrities are Mark Wright from Towie, Cardi B from Love and Hip Hop. If you aren't aware, she started off in Love and Hip Hop and she's got one hell of a personality. Also, we've got Zoella, who is a well-known and successful YouTube star. I think I can use YouTubers as examples for reality TV because generally, like, when you're sitting in a bedroom with a camera in your face, it's reality, right? Aries is a fire sign. So fire sign ascendants tend to be very outspoken, very bold. They tend to have a lot of confidence. And Aries is ruled by Mars, so your whole chart will have that kind of Mars energy. You will naturally be a go-getter. And also Aries is a cardinal sign, so cardinal signs represent initiation. So you may be somebody who isn't afraid to start new ventures, start new relationships, kind of burn everything to the ground and start up again. Like, you may find you have that kind of theme in your life. Aries rising have so much energy. You are the epitome of high energy. So if you're an Aries rising and you do not have a regular workout routine and you're feeling really agitated, I super duper suggest that you join a gym or join some kind of club where you can do competitive sport, because if you don't exert that physical energy, you do have the tendency to lash out, get frustrated. Because Aries also rules the head, you do hold a lot of stress and energy in the head area, so you do have the tendency for your mind to run overtime. So again, when you do that physical exercise, you tend to clear that mind. But going back to that cardinal energy, that initiative energy, you guys do have a childlike nature. So you like to explore and you like to experiment boundaries. So you guys may be a little bit chaotic. You might be that friend that says, oh, I did this on the weekend, and all of your other friends are thinking, wow, like how inappropriate was that? But they'll probably find it very entertaining and adorable. It's so weird. Like, you have this energy where you are so mad, like you're crazy, you do crazy things, you make crazy impulse choices, and people don't really look at you and go, oh my gosh, like how irresponsible. They look at you like, ah, that's so funny and irresponsible. Like, you get that kind of adoration with it because of your childlike nature. And that's because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so naturally Aries rules that first house. Now, you need goals and you need plans in place to actually feel worthwhile. You know how important it is to be working towards something, and this makes you quite determined. So you create a goal because you want to win. You tend to get fired up and you tend to get that adrenaline boost when there's some kind of competitiveness involved. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll just stomp over heads to get to where you want to go, but you need that like competitive energy for you to actually pull out all the stops. Like, you really get off on that survival instinct, that life or death. And this makes you very eager to win. You can be a sore loser, but because of this eagerness to win, if you exercise that thoroughly through your life, you do end up being winners. Aries risings make great athletes because of this determination and because of this eagerness to win. And when you lose, you will go behind the scenes and you will train your flipping hardest so that you come back out winning. And I mean, I feel like a lot of Aries risings need an element of losing kind of to get that fire going. Every time I film an Aries video, a dog barks. I do apologise if this is... I can't believe it! Why do dogs feel the need to bark like that? Off. You motivate yourselves very well in life, but you also have the ability to motivate other people. So if you've got a friend who's on the floor laying in their own tears and a bottle of vodka, you're the person who can come in and you can get them back up. You've got a great way of motivating people and empowering people. Now, you may have learned this natural ability to motivate in your childhood. You may have grown up in a household which required you to motivate others, motivate siblings, even motivate your parents. Or you may have been pushed into a lot of competitive sports at a very young age. It may have even been a childhood where you had to push to be seen or push to be heard. You tended to get rewarded when you showed signs of achievement, but when you weren't achieving, maybe you didn't get as much attention. Also, you are a fire sign rising sign, and fire signs tend to like their freedom. And if you don't have full freedom in life, you're going to feel extremely restricted and it's going to put your fire out. So as an Aries rising, if you are feeling a bit meh about life, have a look at where your freedom's being restricted. So Aries rising and your physical attributes due to your rising sign. So as mentioned before, Aries is all about the head. So you may have a big head, you may have very good bone structure, kind of like the person who looks like they have good genes. Also, you're going to look physically strong. Even if you're not someone who works out, which I don't recommend not working out as an Aries rising, but if you're someone who doesn't work out, you're still going to have a very strong physique. You're probably going to stand up very tall and have a very straight spine, or just known for very good posture. You are also known to have a very strong forehead as well, so quite a square forehead, and you may even have eyebrows that protrude out a little bit. But Aries risings are always known to be very attractive. Think of Hercules with his top off and he's just got all of his rippling muscles. He's the epitome of masculinity. So if you're an Aries rising male, you are the epitome of masculine. And if you're an Aries rising female, you're like Xena, the warrior princess. Is it Xena? Either way, you're like a warrior princess. When I think of Aries risings, I think of wrestlers. When a wrestler walks in the ring, they walk in with such a strong presence, strong aura, and they're actually really intimidating and really scary. And another thing about Aries, they like everything big. So even the way that they dress, they tend to wear items of clothing which matches, but will always have one kind of bold statement. Like this top, it's safe, it's black, but the red sleeves, like you have to have some kind of bold statement as an Aries rising. So if you're a girl, for instance, and you go on a night out and you wear an all black outfit, you may be the girl who tops off that black ensemble with like a bright pink handbag or statement piece. So when it comes to your journey down the birth canal, I wonder whether you can remember that. I've actually heard that some people do remember their journeys down the birth canal. I think that's absolutely crazy because I only remember my life from like 12 onwards. But whatever, I do have slight memories of my childhood, but they're very vague. So you might want to ask your mum about this or anyone who's in the delivery room at the time. But because of the Mars influence of Aries, your birth was probably rapid, high intensity, high pain. Like your mom probably had to be a warrior princess to give birth to you. Especially you have that like potentially bigger head. So your mom may have had to do some pushing to get you out. Like it would have been a bloodbath. It could have been a bloodbath. Because Mars is that sign of like warrior energy, there would have had to have been that type of energy around your birth. It would have been an aggressive birth. Now, because Mars and Aries is a very rapid sign, You could have easily been a C-section baby, and potentially an unexpected C-section. A kind of, you're not here, now you are. But either way, as an Aries rising, you personally would have been very eager to leave that womb. So as soon as you were in that birth canal, you were like, get me out, and that's where the bloodbath started. So because Mars is a malefic planet, so you have malefic planets and benefic planets. Benefic planets are beneficial, benefic. Malefic planets are like malicious planets. So when you have a malefic planet ruling your birth chart and ruling your ascendant or rising sign, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means you kind of get off on like more challenging things in life. So your strengths will be through overcoming your difficulties. So because Mars is a malefic planet and it rules your birth, there could have been birth complications, like a lot of blood. So when an Aries rising wakes up in the morning, you're probably filled up with a pump of adrenaline. I think this is the same for like Neptune in Aries, potentially, Aries suns, Aries moons. You will be pumped with energy when you wake up in the morning. So it is really advisable as an Aries rising to just get up and get straight into your daily routine. And you probably are already doing that, because when you hit snooze or when you try and have a lie-in, you get very frustrated because your body wants to start moving and the cogs in your brain want to go 10 to the dozen. You tend to be very excited to get out of bed as well. You have this optimism. It's like a brand new day. Anything is possible. And as long as you've been active during the day, you tend to fall asleep quite well at night. I find this is a thing with all fire signs. It's interesting because I currently live in a house where I'm a fire sign, my son's a fire sign, and even though my boyfriend doesn't live here, he does sleep here now and then, and he's a fire sign. Suns, not risings, by the way. And we all tend to be like really rapid in the day, high energy, but as soon as it hits about 10 o'clock at night, we're all very happy to go to sleep. Aries risings are like those people at the party where they go absolutely mental, they're crazy, like the craziest person in the party, and you think they're gonna do an all-nighter, but they found their way to someone's bed at 11 o'clock, and then at 12 o'clock you find them all snuggled up. And when it comes to how much sleep you guys need, I do feel like you need an average of 8 hours, but it all really depends on the amount of energy that you've exerted in the day. But yeah, when it comes to your routine, start rapidly, get in the shower, get your makeup done, get your hair done, and then take a 10 to 15 minute rest before you get in the car to go to work. So that is your rising sign, and I hope you found this video to be interesting and informative. If you resonate, please comment down below and drop me a like if you like this video. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe because I would love to see more of you, and I shall see you next time. Bye!